Yeah, good morning, Chuku. Blessing, you're welcome. You're welcome. Let's wait until by my timeline is 11:35. Let's wait till 11:42 so we can start. Okay, 7 minutes for others to join so we can start. So, how are you now, Chuku? Blessing, how is everything coming from your end? Hello, blessing. Can you hear me? Okay. Hope I'm loud and clear. If you can't hear me, please indicate. Okay. So welcome. Um, if you're here with me, can you indicate and say hi? So I will know that you can hear me clearly. Please, can anyone hear me? If you can hear me, please indicate hi. Let me confirm you can hear me. Okay. Please, can anyone hear me? Okay. Chuku, you say let me go to the word you gave. Fred, should I still sound? It's okay. Okay. I don't get you clearly. If you don't get the work, that's if you didn't get the assignment, or if you don't understand the crowd operation. You can send it on WhatsApp. You can send whatever your inquiries is on WhatsApp. Whatever you're confused on, you can drop it on the WhatsApp group. Okay, we have 1 minute remaining, so we can just kickstart. Um, okay. hope I don't know if I answered your question well, but whatever you can drop, whatever your complaint is on WhatsApp, we take it from there. Okay. All right. Good morning and welcome everyone. Um, Spread Tech Africa, we have come a long way, and this bootcamp has been a very great success ever since it started. And yeah, we have all learned a lot, or we are still learning a lot, both from the front end and the back end side. Um, by the grace of God, we have done much of everything that is supposed to be written on the back end. And on our last class, I dropped the project assignment, and I believe we have all seen the assignment. It's part of the things that we have been doing so far. Part of the things we have been doing so far, and yeah, it's basically what we have done so far. So today's class is more of like a bonus class where we get to discuss some of those. Yeah, we get to discuss those resources you should be familiar with as a backend developer. So these are websites. These are, yeah, we call them, yeah, they are websites, but these are resources where you should be conversant with as a backend developer. But before then, let me brush us up to some of the topics we have discussed from the beginning, where we discussed about the history of Node.js. We all know by now we should be familiar with Node.js as a backend, as a JavaScript framework for developing for developing web application on the server side. So we discussed on MongoDB, that's the database, how to actually interact with MongoDB with database. We also did something on MySQL too. So by now we should have been familiarized with most of those topics, both Node.js and both MySQL and MongoDB. Sharing my screen. Hope you can see my screen. Hope you can see my screen. I guess, yeah, I believe we can see my screen. So, yeah, like I said, we have discussed a lot. We have talked about GitHub. We have talked about Postman. In our last class here, we discussed on Postman, how to um, yeah, in our last class, we discussed about Postman, how we actually interact with Postman as a representation of uh, the front end, as a representation of a front end instrument, just the client side instrument of transacting with the back end server side implementation. So we have covered a lot of topics, and these topics are uh, these topics are these topics are actually basically what happens on the server side, most of what happens on the server side. So I encourage everyone here to because one of the most important thing about getting you introduced to this bootcamp is giving you a foundation, giving you a leverage that okay, this is These are the basic things you will learn. There are still more to learn, which we can't stop learning. Even me at my own level, I am still learning. I'm still improving on areas which are important for me. So I will encourage you to, from these topics, we actually treated some of them on the shallow side, that's on the surface level. So I would encourage you to take out time, go through the topics one after the other, the notes, then do your research and go in depth. I believe when you are doing the assignment, on the process of doing the assignment, you would it's going to expose you to in the process of doing the assignment is going to expose you to a challenge where you would be able to learn some of these things on your own, learn some of those things that you would get from the mistakes you're going to be encountering. So that's that for that. So on today's class, I have prepared, because we are almost done with with the whole thing we're supposed to do during this boot camp, because on our last class we discussed on deploying our application to we discussed on deploying our application to Vessel, which right now we have our application posted live on Vessel. So, but today we are going to be discussing on we're going to be discussing on um, some of the websites you as a backend developer should hold, and you should be familiar with. That is, these are websites you are going to be recurringly using. You're going to be asking questions. You're going to be solving problems via this website. And this is the note which I've prepared. I think I should share this with Becky. I should share this on the group so you can follow. So, please, Becky, if you're here, I suggest you share the link to the group so we can all follow up from there. So basically, this particular note we discussed about what is backend development. So let me refresh our memories back again. Backend development refers to the process. Okay. Backend development refers to the process of creating and maintaining server side logic and functionality that powers a website, web application or software. It involves writing code that runs on the server and is responsible for managing and processing data. All these things are things we are familiar with. Okay, they say these platforms are tailored to elevate your study. Okay, so on the first on our lineup, we have Stack Overflow. Stack Overflow, I I somehow believe this is not the first time we are hearing about Stack Overflow. Stack Overflow for me, on a layman's language, I would say Stack Overflow is basically where developers go to when when they need help. What I mean is, when you're writing a code and you encounter a problem, it's Stack Overflow has over I think more than 2 million or even 5 million developers who are contributing to the system. It's a very huge community. Stack Overflow is a very huge community. What they do there is, you can drop a problem you have been encountering, and the developers will hop on that. Developers who have actually solved a problem or who have encountered a challenge related to your problem will come in and give their solutions. So the best solutions actually, you can actually pick from the best solution to solve your problem. So from the notes here, we say, as the saying goes, Stack Overflow is one of the greatest things to have happened in the tech space. Just like I said, this is a public question and answer community where developers from different backgrounds and different stacks collaborate through contribution to help each other solve problems. When I began using Stack Overflow, I was truly amazed by how developers from all around the world come together in harmony to solve problems. For me, Stack Overflow is a go-to place for developers when they encounter challenges. So basically what this is saying is Stack Overflow actually is this is their homepage. This is Stack Overflow's homepage. It's like, I would say, a result forum. Yeah, it's a result forum, a very big community where okay, it's a results forum and a great community where people come in and collaborate together to solve problems. These are people you don't even know. You can say all these are questions that have been asked on Stack Overflow. How do I secure the use of AdMob and Google Maps API into Android? So these are basically, you can see we have different question. This one has one answer. These are I think these are recent questions. That's why people haven't had answers to them. So basically, this is just how Stack Overflow is. You come, you ask your question. Let's search for Node.js related topic. When we search, you see, sending command line argument to npm script. We have it has been answered. Hope you're all following. Hope you're all following. It has been answered. So if you can see, this is we have different people here who have answered this question, but from the best answer, you have this good mark. This is the one you really want to consider. Everyone here has their own answer. This one has dropped his own answer. This might also work, but this is the best solution so far. You can see this one has up to 349 votes. This has 1,952 votes, while this has 1,445 votes. So this is, if I want to add to the votes, I would come here. I think this answer is useful. This answer is not useful. I'll click on this. I'll click on this. I won't be doing that. I don't really know much about this. So this is basically what it is. There are different solutions there are different problems you can actually solve just by being a member of the community Stack Overflow. So it is easier to join, just like like every other application. You create an account, then boom, you're part of the community. You can answer questions. You can answer questions. You can answer, you can solve problems if you have encountered any challenge before related to that particular problem. So that is just basically it for Stack Overflow. It's actually a community I encourage every software engineer, both front end, back end, dev, or whatever you're doing related to software engineering. You are supposed to be part of this community, Stack Overflow. That's for that. Good morning, Mary. You're welcome. You're welcome. You are late, but not too late. So we are just getting started. So we have actually discussed the first on our list on um, websites or resources you should be familiar with as a backend developer. Which number one is Stack Overflow. Please, you should take note. So we'll be discussing on the keynotes, the key features of Stack Overflow. One, which I have been talking about, is problem solving. Developers can find solutions to specific coding issues or challenges they encounter in their backend development project. That is one, problem solving. The second on the list is learning. Developers can learn new concepts techniques, best practices by exploring questions, answer, and discussion related to back-end topics. Community support, just as I said, Stack Overflow has an active developer community, provides valuable advice and instance and assistance, allowing backend developers to tap into a wealth of collective knowledge and experience. Then, fourth on our list, we have code reviews. Developers can receive constructive feedback on their code by posting specific questions or code snippets. This helps in improving code quality and following best practices. So basically, this is just it. Networking. Yeah, you can get familiar with developers here. You can be friends with developers. This is a developer. These are developers who are actually who are actually contributing. I think this guy has answered the question. So this is a developer. You can actually follow this developer via this is his GitHub account, and boom, you can follow this particular developer. So it's um it's really important. It's really important you become part of um, the community Stack Overflow as a software engineer, back end, front end, or whatever you do, full stack developer. So a Stack Overflow is your go-to place whenever you need solution. And time efficiency. Instead of spending extensive time troubleshooting a problem alone, developers can leverage the collective knowledge of community to quickly find solutions and overcome obstacles. Yeah, which is true. I could remember one time I was trying to solve a problem, and in software engineering, there are problems that even take up to a week to solve. There are certain that even take up to a month. It's as funny as that because it's not you're not the one who actually initiated the whole programming language, the whole system. So you're actually learning on the process. So you can encounter problems that are tougher or challenging for you at the first instance. So in order for you not to waste much of your time going through Google, finding resources at areas where you cannot get resources, I just encourage you go through Stack Overflow. Most of the times when you even search for you take an error message, paste it on your Google address bar. uh, one of the first URL that comes into place are usually Stack Overflow. So Stack Overflow helps you solve those problems which you are supposed to spend which is taking you weeks, days, and hours to fix. You just see the code, you see um, where it has been solved. All you just need to do is to copy paste it to your own code or just do some little adjustment. So that is that for Stack Overflow. Stack Overflow is one of the best, I think. Yeah, it's one of the best platforms for software engineering. Yeah, one of the best platforms for software engineering. So second on our list is GitHub. By now we should be all familiar with GitHub. They are both on the front end and the back end. We should be familiar with some of the basic commands, the basic operation that happens on GitHub. Because yeah, from our second class, I think from our second or third class, we started discussing about GitHub, having a GitHub account, pulling from GitHub, s- creating a repository, which we have actually done. Our project currently now is on GitHub. Yeah, from GitHub, it was from Vessel. Our project that was hosted on Vessel was imported from GitHub. So GitHub is also a platform that, as a developer, you must. It's not like you should have a GitHub account. You must one time in your life have a GitHub account if you're pursuing a career in software engineering or you're pursuing a career in tech somehow. So I'll be going through this with you. GitHub is a powerful platform in the tech space, serving as a home for software engineers and tech enthusiasts. It offers a vast world for collaboration, learning, and contributing to open source projects. Utilizing GitHub provides developers with numerous opportunities to connect, share ideas, showcase their portfolio, and build on a platform with thousands of projects and developers. Like we all know, GitHub is one big community for collaboration. Like we have our project which is on GitHub. We have our project that's on GitHub, and from there we can actually push, do all those collaborative operations that will help enhance our project, which is on GitHub. So this is our project currently. This is our project currently on GitHub. Let's assume we are more than one developers currently using this particular who has this project, and it's just the sweet part of thing is I am not the only one who is working on this project. Another person can come in and say, okay, he wants to do this adjustment, he has this whole thing without me being together with that person. That is the amazing thing about GitHub. You can actually collaborate from any part of the world so long as you have your internet access and you have your device to operate with. So GitHub is a community where this is our project that I have locally and we all have locally, but we are all collaborating together to make this project work. So that's the most important thing about GitHub. It gives developers that leverage to actually work together from different parts of the world or different areas, and make things come to place without even getting to meet each other. So that is one of the that's one of the important thing about GitHub. So I'll be going through the key features together. Here we have collaborative development. GitHub facilitates collaboration among developers, allowing them to work together on projects seamlessly. Multiple collaborators can work on the same code base, making it easier to manage and merge changes. Just like I said, also there is version control. Git, the underlying version control system used by GitHub, allows developers to track changes in their code base over time. This ensures a detailed history of modification, making it easier to identify and resolve issues. Then also, third on the list, we have open source contribution. GitHub is a hub for open source projects. Backend developers can contribute to existing projects, gaining exposure to the real world application, improving their skills, and building a portfolio. This is just a typical example of what we are actually doing here. This project, for me, is an open source project because any developer from SpreadTech can just come in, clone this project, do whatever they want to do, do whatever implementation they want to do, and uh, you know come to a great achievement. So it offers a lot of opportunity and different ways which we actually scale and solve problems in software engineering. There's code reviews. GitHub provides a platform for efficient code review. Developers can submit pull requests, allowing team members to resolve comments, to review, comment, and suggest improvements before merging changes into the main code base. So for me, I think GitHub is actually solving a problem where it enhances remote job. Yeah, why I say this is because in a traditional way, let's say we are all working together in an office. Before I do something, let's say I'm a junior developer. Before I do something, my CEO or one in charge has to come look through my computer, look through. But all these things are not necessary when you have GitHub. So with GitHub, your your superior can be whatever they want to be, and review your code and before merging your code to the production. So these are part of those problems GitHub is helping us solve. So fifth on our list, we have issue tracking. The platform includes robust issue tracking features, enabling developers to report bugs, propose enhancement, and track the progress of the tasks. Yeah, this enhances project management and communication within development teams. So what this is actually saying is, let's assume we are actually building something, and from the project that we are building, Mr. A now noticed an issue, now noticed something wrong, or something that is not as it's supposed to be. What that person does is that person will raise an issue. You can raise an issue here. It's as easy as anything. Put the label of the issue to be whatever it wants to be. You can see we have different bugs, something is wrong, documentation, duplicate, enhancement, good first issue. These are just the basic. You can actually add your own um you can actually add your own label. How you just do this is you create a new issue, you come to this place and write your issue, type the issue. I'm not raising any issue currently, but you put in the title, write your issue. So if a developer come, and let's say the developer is in charge of creating users data, so and the issue is on user data, that developer just comes in and comes to the project repository and sees the issue and knows that, okay, these are things we actually do on the traditional way, but now we are doing it remotely, which makes work easier for us. So these are one of those things that GitHub actually solves. There's continuous integration, where this just talks about the whole workflow, where you push, it makes work easier and faster for us. Then a learning process, a learning resource. Um, if it might interest you all to know, aside the whole thing that GitHub does, GitHub has a very large learning community too. GitHub has a learning community. It's almost like Stack Overflow in a way, where there's GitHub Gist. GitHub Gist is an area where people come in and talk on issues relating to, you have a problem and you want to share some of those your problems together with other engineers. You can go to GitHub Gist. We have GitHub Gist. From here you can I have created over time, I have created so many gist on my own GitHub. You can see all these are gists. You can just create a problem, and you send the problem to a developer, and that developer will look into that particular problem which you're about to solve. So GitHub offers a lot of variety, and down to the last part, which is community engagement. Yeah, GitHub is a community platform too. GitHub fosters a sense of community. Developers can engage with others by participating in discussion, forums, and events related to their areas of interest. This creates networking opportunities and a supportive environment for learning and growth. Okay, that's that for GitHub. We are we should be familiar with GitHub. We all know about GitHub and how important it is. This is not our first time hearing GitHub. Next on our list is mastering backend. Mastering backend. Mastering backend is another great platform. Um, I see mastering backend as a very good learning resource for back-end development. A minute, a second, please. I see mastering back-end as a very great resource for learning back-end development, because we have over 3,000, or more than developers, local developers who are actually contributing to. Okay, we have more than 15,000. Sorry, 15,000. 15,000 developers within this platform that are trying to make back end development around the world, make it easier and give access to resources for back end development. So I'll be going through this together with you. So mastering back end is an amazing community for specifically back end engineers, developers. This community is striving to support back end developers with a lot of resources for free, providing over 15,000 developers with a platform to interact, get books, provide content hub for all for free to educate backend developers. Joining this community will give you a foundational experience and on anything that has to do with backend engineering. So let me I think the server is still up. Okay. This is back end. This is their website. This is the website. You can actually, I think they offer books, the hub, store. Yeah, it's a community too. It's a learning community where you can actually interact with different developers. So I think I am also part of this community because I have published a blog. I've published a blog on this platform. So it's you get a lot of resources. I think yeah. Why is the server slow? You get a lot of resources, not just on Node.js. Every aspect that has to do with in every area that has to do with back-end development, you will find a lot of resources. So let's go through it together. Okay. So we have building a fintech product and for security. Okay, you can see this is a blog post. You can continue reading, you know, you can join the academy. It's very simple to actually use. Introduction into Rocket framework. You get a lot of even in areas where you are not familiar with, you get a lot, believe me, you get a lot of resources here. Top five TypeScript framework. All these things are Rust for backend development. This is a core community just for backend development. You know they are not going out, they are not coming in, nothing. This is just particularly for backend development. And I think this is one of my blog posts, how to deploy a Node.js backend project to Vessel. Yeah, just like what we did the last on our last class. So it's a platform where it's a platform where as a backend developer you should be part of the community. So and it's built by one of a Nigerian backend developer who is who is talented in what he does. So yeah, this is that's that for um, mastering back end. So we will be talking about the key feature, which is developer community, just like we have GitHub and Stack Overflow. There's a large library. This is a platform that serves as a valuable resources hub for developers to enhance their skills or delve into new back-end technologies. It offers an extensive collection for back-end books, blog posts, providing a rich learning experience for developers. Networking opportunity, you get to meet other developers who have like mind and similar goals just as you. Career guidance, yes, access resources and guidance on career paths in backend development, including resume building, interview preparation, and industry trends. Regular updates and content addition. Yeah, every time you come in, you see new stuff happening, you see new content, new resources, new things to learn, all in mastering backend. So that is that for mastering backend. There's the this is their blog post. This is their blog post. There is an area for books where if you want to get books, advanced Goland, these are books, intermediate Goland, advanced Rust, intermediate Rust, Node.js Essential. These are books you can actually come in and get for free. So yeah, that's that for mastering backend. So next on our list we have SQL bots. Okay. Mm. So next on our list we have SQL bots, and this is an interactive learning platform called SQL bot. From the word SQL, you should know that we are talking about SQL operation that has to do with database. So we have discussed some of these things. We have discussed this in our, I think, in our last two classes, where we talked about how to interact with Node.js, how to connect your Node.js application to my SQL database. So this is designed to tutor both back-end developers and non-techies on utilizing SQL, structured query language, to effectively manage and interact with data stored in database, right? So SQL both serves as a go-to resources for individuals venturing into backend development, especially those aiming to start with my SQL database. It provides a comprehensive and hands-on learning experience, guiding users through the intricacies of SQL commands, database design, and query optimization. So let's look into what SQL boot is. They have one of the simplest user experience or user interface. Yeah, user interface. Just straightforward. All you just need is to follow their classes one after the other. I bet you if you can follow this SQL, you're going to be a pro. You're going to be a pro at SQL queries. So this is just basically what their page looks like. The website is on the blog post. Introduction to SQL. Welcome to SQL Boot, a series of interactive lessons and exercises designed to help you quickly learn SQL right in your browser. So first of all, let's just go through this and see how structured their classes is. They say SQL, or structured query language, is a language designed to allow both technical and non-technical users to query, manipulate, and transform data from a relational database. And due to its simplicity, SQL database provides safe and scalable storage for millions of websites and mobile applications. So this is a site that actually what it does is it's an educative platform that teaches you SQL, how to write SQL commands, how to, they say, okay, begin. You have a platform where you can actually interact. This is your first class. You show, you perform the operation and you get to see, you know, you get to see the whole result. This is coming from, okay, let's say, let me change this to title. Select title. Let's see what the results will come. You see, it has selected just only the title, all title of um, movies that was provided. So this is just basically what this does. If you follow it properly, you get to see how find the title of each film, which you have done. You say find the director. Let's say we want to find the director of each film. Let's change this to, I think, director. We can see all these are now the directors of each film. So say find director and title. Let's copy this, Control C. You can see we have both director and title. So this is just a platform that teaches you how to write SQL query from scratch to finish to advanced level. So that's that for that. Let's go through the key features. Interactive learning. Yeah, just like what I just did now, I can actually learn on the platform. You know, I can actually write the SQL queries on the platform itself. So SQL Boot offers you an interactive and engaging learning environment. Users can practice SQL queries directly within the platform, reinforcing their understanding through hands-on experience. Hello, Mary. You can't see the screen. Um, Can you see my screen now, please? Please indicate because I need you to follow. Oh, okay. I think it might be network issue. Somehow I feel it's network. So, okay, I think it's network, sure. Um, okay, I think this are being zoomed out. Can you see it clearly now? Can you see the screen clearly? How about now? Can you see anything? Huh? Okay. Hello, Mary. Can you see the screen now? Can you see it to an extent? Okay. Okay, if it's the network, then there's nothing I can do from my end. So we'll be moving forward. So we talked about the interactive learning. So next we discussed. Remember we are on the SQL boot. So we talked about the structured curriculum. Yeah. The platform provides a structured curriculum that caters to both beginners and intermediate learners, starting from the basic of SQL syntax. It gradually progressed to advanced topics such as join operations, subqueries, and database normalization. So, what this is saying is SQL Boot has a structured way of teaching. We can all see we have 101, you can see lesson 2, lesson 3. This is just like a standard for me, I think. If you follow up this process, you are going to be an expert with querying my SQL operations on the database. That's just that for it. Then we have real world application. SQL Boot emphasizes on real world application demonstration, how SQL is used in practical scenarios. This approach ensures that users not only grasp theoretical concepts but also acquire skills applicable to actually development projects. So what this is saying is SQL Boot uses real world example, that is real world application example, to actually teach in their curriculum. So when you're learning, you're not just learning, you're learning samples, you're learning what you may use when it comes to building real world application. So next is my SQL focuses for those specifically interested in MySQL. SQL Boot is an excellent starting point. So what they just do is strictly on MySQL. So no MongoDB or Postgres or whatever database. It is just strictly on MySQL. So if you would want to learn MySQL, SQL Boot should be your go-to place. And also progress tracking. Users can track their progress as they complete lessons and exercise. This feature allows learners to revisit and reinforce specific topics, ensuring a thorough understanding of SQL concepts. So that's just that for SQL boot. So next on our list is Jenkins. Okay, so Jenkins is more of like an open source platform. It's a place where yeah, let's say um, it's a place that supports developers to build and also deploy their application. As a developer, you want to build your application, have a community where you can be where it's interactive to the point where you even deploy your application. Jenkins is a place for that. So I will be taking you through the notes, and it's Jenkins is a crucial tool for backend developers, enhancing collaboration and elevating the efficiency of software development projects. At its core, Jenkins is an open source automation server that automates the entire software development cycle and life cycle. It achieves this by allowing developers to define and orchestrate pipeline encompassing tasks such as building, testing, and deploying application. So Jenkins gives you that overall view to actually build. It gives you that Jenkins gives you that platform to actually automate your application just with a lot of guidelines. With Jenkins, let's say you are not going to be making much of those mistakes you would make it when you're building alone. So it's just what that is. Just like how we say the automated build and deployment, Jenkins automates the build and development process, making it easy for backend developers to trigger builds when code changes occurs. This automation ensures that the latest code is consistently compiled, tested, and deployed, reducing the risk of errors and enhancing project reliability. Just like what I said. So it's when you're looking for a platform that offers this, it should be Jenkins. And there's a continuous integration just like we have on our GitHub. Then there's an extensive plugin integration. So Jenkins gives you that it gives you a lot of plugin opportunity. It's also a community. You can actually document things. There's a lot of functions you can actually get from Jenkins. I Although as a beginner you might not be friendly using Jenkins, but as time goes on, one way or the other, as a backend developer, you might come across Jenkins and areas where you have to make use of it. So that's that distributed builds for scalability, and there's a customizable dashboard for visibility, community-driven innovation. So all these are just the features which Jenkins um, operates on. So next on our list is Postman. So by now we should be familiar with Postman because we just re- recently we discussed on our last class we discussed on Postman, how it is the representation of the client side, how you use it to pass data which you want to execute from the front end side to the back end. So this is where Postman comes in, where you have a situation where, let's say, you have your mobile phone and you want to type numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and send it to the server. So as a backend developer, you don't have a, except you want to write it in your code. But if you're doing something that is dynamic, so you don't have an area where you have to write this thing. There's no button. This is where Postman comes in. Postman gives you that front end um, a capability to actually execute things which you want to do via like a sample representation of what you want to execute from the front end. All these things can be done can be done via Postman. So Postman is a versatile and powerful API testing and development tool that has become an indispensable asset for developers, particularly those working on the back-end system. Its intuitive interface and feature-rich capabilities make it an invaluable companion for designing, testing, and managing APIs. So, um, Postman is one of those applications that, as a backend developer, you are going to be making use of. You are going to be making use of. You're going to be testing your APIs. If you want to test your APIs, it is via Postman. So let's come to the features of Postman. We already have Postman, where we use Postman to do a lot of things. We have Postman. We use Postman to do a lot of things. You send requests, you search requests, all those things you want to do via the front end. You don't have access to your front end. You don't have access to. You cannot directly post those things via your phone through your front end. These things have been done via Postman. So I just hope you have a glimpse understanding. Let's open their page, their homepage, and see. Okay. Okay, why is it taking so long? So, anyways, let's key features of Postman. We have API endpoint testing. Backend developers can utilize Postman to thoroughly test API endpoints, they respond, um, ensuring they respond correctly to various requests and input scenarios. So that's just basically it for Postman for testing APIs. You use your Postman. And also, second on the list, we have request building. With Postman, constructing HTTP requests is a breeze. Developers can design requests for various HTTP methods, set parameters, and customize headers with ease. Next is automated testing. Create automated test suite within Postman to streamline the testing process. Automation saves time and ensure the reliability of back-end functionalities. We have API documentation, and yeah, with Postman you can actually create straightforwardly create an API for yourself. Create a documentation for your APIs. That's the project you're building. Let's say you're building a project that has 15 APIs, and these things are supposed to be sent to the front end. You don't have to be writing them one after the other or writing them on a note, then sending them to the to the front end. You just create a documentation straight ahead inside your Postman inside your Postman and send the collection to the back end and to the front end. I mean, so then there is monitoring and debugging. Postman provides robust monitoring tools to track API performance. Developers can also use the tools for debugging, identifying, and resolving issues. So Postman is one of those essential applications or platforms where which you as a backend developer you are likely not to do without. You are going to be using Postman in one time in your career. You are supposed to be using Postman. So Postman is one of those applications I encourage I encourage all developers, especially backend developers, to get familiar with, go through it, have an account, test, and start building using Postman. So this is particularly their homepage. It's as easy as you can just come in here, sign up, sign in, or sign in if you already have an account, then sign up if you are a new user. So that is that for Postman. Then next on our list we have Docker, being Dockerized. Docker is one of those platforms for, yeah, in most time as a developer, in your career as a developer, you are going to encounter or make use of Docker when you progress. That is when you're becoming advanced in what you are doing. As a beginner, you are likely not to make use of Docker because of it's one of those advanced features. It has one of those advanced features in backend. So we'll be going through this together. I said Docker stands as an indispensable tool for backend developers, presenting a transformative approach to software development through its containerization technology. This innovation addresses key challenges in backend development and significantly improve various aspects of development life cycle. So, without wasting much time, let us go to the key features. Um, Docker actually gives you that consistent environment where, mm, okay, let me come here and open their homepage so we can see. It says it gives you a consistent environment. Docker ensure that consistent environment across development, testing, and production. Backend developers can create containers that encapsulate both the application and its dependencies, eliminating the "it works on my machine" dilemma and ensuring a reliable development to production transition. So, from my understanding, um, what Docker does is, particularly to me, I have not made use of Docker. I've not made use of Docker, but Docker it gives, let's say you're actually building, um, let's say an I think you're building a mobile application and also building a web a mobile application, maybe iOS or Android. I think Docker, yeah, if I'm not mistaken, or an application for you're building an application, a mobile application, and also a web application. That is a Windows application. With Docker, you can just build everything in one container, and it will be able to, instead of building this one separately and building um, the web version separately, you can just do everything at once. And with the use of Docker, you can be able to test those applications together at once, and they would work. So that is just basically one of those things that Docker offers. That's just one of those key key features. Then there's portability and compatibility. Docker's containerized approach enables backend developers to create applications that run seamlessly across diverse environments. Just like I said, they can create applications that run seamlessly across diverse environments. This portability simplifies the development process, allowing for easy transition between local development setups and cloud-based production environments. So just like I just said, it gives you that leverage to actually build things from one particular place that can actually run in different platforms. So that's that. Then there's resource efficiency. There is accelerated development. Yeah, it's fast with Docker. Docker expedites the development process for backend developers by packaging applications into containers. Developers ensure that the application along with its dependency is consistently deployed in any environment, promoting faster and more reliable releases. So that's just it. Then there's seamless integration in DevOps. Docker seamlessly integrates into the DevOps workflow, promoting collaboration between development and operation teams. Its containerization and technology aligns with DevOps principles, enabling back-end developers to build and deploy applications more efficiently in continuous integration and continuous deployment pipelines. So all these are basically what this does, and also it has an active community support. Yeah, Docker has an active community support, so I think we should come down to, okay, there's a blog and there's a support queue here, so you can actually, there's a newsletter, you can actually join the newsletter. And I think there is Docker system status. So it's a platform. Yeah, the support system is actually the community where you can actually ask questions, related to Docker deployment and testing. So this is one of those important this is one of those important aspects, or one of those important technologies you should be familiar with as a back-end developer. So I think I think that is that for this particular note. As a backend developer, being part of this list is essential. Is list of essential platform is pivotal in your professional journey. These platforms are intricately linked to server-based applications, performing the backbone or forming the backbone of back-end development. Each platform in this list addresses critical aspects of back-end development, offering indispensable tools and technologies. So, let's say in conclusion, this platform go beyond being mere tools. They become companions in your back-end development journey, empowering you to navigate challenges, accelerate development, and stay at the forefront of modern software development practices. So yeah, with this list, you can actually do better and do faster with your back end career, building, testing, optimization, whatever you want to do as a back end developer. Mm, One or multiple of this list I mentioned has to be involved. So that is that for the things we should be familiar with as back-end developers. So I don't know if I was too fast and you have missed me at one point. So if you have question or anything, I am open for your questions now. Okay. Anyone with question? Mary Emmanuel, are you still there? Mary, do you have a question, or was everything explanatory? Okay. So, in the absence of question, I will be taking us back to, in the absence of question, I'll be taking us back to our assignments. By now, we should have started with our assignments. So we hmm, Mary, you wanted to ask a question. Message retracted. Why? Okay. All right. That means we are actually following. So in the absence of question, we will be discussing on the assignment. That's the project assignment. So on the project assignment, if I am being honest with you, this assignment is, mm, if you follow our last class where we created, where we did our simple prod system, it is exactly what we expected of you. So the reason why this assignment is important, the reason why this assignment is important, you follow it and do it yourself, is because of the it's going to expose you to certain challenges, and these challenges is what is going to make you stand out. When you're able to solve it, believe me, these are challenges that may seem very big, but when you pay close attention or you spend more time solving them, you get to know that with time these things are merely no problem. They are very easy problems. So the task is your task is to create a CRUD, that is create, read, update, delete application for managing students record. The application should allow users to perform the following: create, that is register a new student with details such as name, age, and grade; read, view list of all registered students; and view details of specific students. So you know that when you create like 10 students, inside that 10 students you can actually view those 10 students, and also you should be able to view a particular student, that's view a student's information, right? So you can, the information, or okay, yeah, you have name, age, and grade. So these are just simple things. So this particular one should have like two endpoints. Okay, this particular one should have like two endpoints. That's the reading. Then there should be an update details of an existing student, delete a student record by ID. So this is very simple to do. So, and I think we should acknowledge it. Then the requirement is the normal. You should have a Node and Express application for building. Then the database you are actually using is MongoDB. Then yeah, implement core application with Mongoose. You know, everything here is actually straightforward. Everything here is straightforward. Ensure proper error handling and validation of for input data. Provide clear documentation for API endpoints and their usage. So all these things, I encourage us to follow them one after the other. In areas where you're confused, you shouldn't be. One thing about programming or being in tech space is, if you don't ask, you will not you won't get it, you won't get what you're looking for. So, and in most cases when you ask, you're going to be answered. So I encourage us to ask whatever, who is close to you, ask on the platform WhatsApp, ask Google, ask people around that are into the system already. So it is going to be, trust me, it's going to be easy and very fast for you to learn when you ask. And like I said, in most cases, you will be answered. So you shouldn't get scared. Most of the time, like me, when I started my career earlier, I was thinking that most of the questions I am about to ask or I would be asking were dumb questions, were very easy questions that nobody would want to reply. But trust me, somebody you ask one plus one in the tech space, and thousands of people are willing to answer you. Just like where we have our Stack Overflow, if you can remember this Stack Overflow, somebody dropped a question, and you can see we have over 2,000. This is just people voting. So it- it's a safe space to actually answer. You can see we have 33, 37 answers. People want to help. I want to help. I want to help someone I can help, nearest person I can help in the tech space. So that is just how it is. It's a flex for people to actually help you in the tech space. So whenever you encounter a problem, you shouldn't just get stuck in it. You should be able to, open up and ask people. So that is that for the assignment, and the deadline would be communicated to you on the group. So I encourage you all to take your time, go through it. The assignment has been dropped on the group. Becky would be she would yeah, she would explain further on what you should know, what you should know on. Okay, yeah. When is the deadline for the submission of the project assignment? Okay, yeah. Becky would communicate that with you. So um, if if that's it, then I think we have come to the end of this section. We have come to the end of this class. I have dropped the notes for you on the group, and yeah, it's the weekend already. We should all catch our space this weekend and enjoy our time. So, Mary, you're still here. Is there anything else? If there's nothing else, then I think we have come to the end of this section. Okay. So, thank you all for attending, and I wish you a wonderful weekend. Okay, bye bye.